for my name. DR.
It's okay. We caught it quick. Not like that thing where we had somebody just keep playing.
Okay.
Maybe latte. Empty beat ones. Yep.
The other way. Go aside.
What?
Let's skip the march and go straight down to the water.
All right, we got 2 repeats and they're both good.
Is that okay with
Yep,
you?
that's good. We'll observe the repeats, and I like to observe them this time.
Yeah, both straight repeats.
I think we were all in agreement.
So this one, we're going to play the page twice.
In theory.
I think this will be fine. Twice, and this won't be like once through that.
Yeah, there's a break here and there. Okay. Yeah, we're ready.
everyone. Welcome. Not in my wildest dreams did I ever think I'd be standing on the stage of the Sheldon Theater, ever. OT's the headliner. So welcome. I'm Lisa Connor. On behalf of the faculty and staff, welcome to the commencement ceremony for the program in occupational therapy. So for anybody who's here for another graduation, you can go to the door. My name is Dr. Lisa Connor. I'm the Associate Dean and Director of the program. Thank you for joining this ceremony to honor the class of 2024. We're thrilled to have the opportunity to celebrate the students with you and send them out into the world to do great things. Before we begin, I want to take a moment to thank the graduation committee who developed, planned, and executed this event, including a last-minute change in venue. We had exactly 2 weeks to find a place to have graduation, so I really appreciate the united staff efforts that have gone on in these last 2 weeks to make this a phenomenal graduation ceremony. Shannon Eckhoff, Michaela Williams, Jessica Romeo, Michelle Burhorst, Abby King, Bridget Mack, Stephen Mack, Clinton Ruzich, Jennifer Bell, Loretta Chavana, and Kelly Walker. We truly appreciate the hard work and dedication to creating an experience with meaning for our graduating students. Graduates, it is my very special honor to welcome you and your families and friends to our ceremony today. You are the 106th graduating class of the program in occupational therapy at Washington University, and the 5th since I became director of the program. And several of those graduations were actually online, okay? And I know you all are familiar with that, the graduating students. It's just been a big challenge. It's been a great privilege to get to know your class and see your work over the years you've been with us. We're so thrilled to be able to celebrate your achievements as soon-to-be graduates of one of the top occupational therapy programs in the country. Note to anybody who uses the podium, don't lean on it, it's very wobbly. Okay. I speak for the faculty and staff when I say that we're all proud of your accomplishments and appreciate the experience to have grown with you. Your road to this moment has not been without its bumps. From med school protocols surrounding the COVID-19 virus to the recent protest events on the Danforth campus, you've been called upon multiple times to change and modify your plans in response to forces beyond your control. This need to adjust, adapt, and remain flexible is nothing new to OTs. Yeah, you guys can sit down. Sorry about that. You figured it out, that's great. It's actually the perfect cue because I'm about to talk about how adaptable everyone is, okay? This need to adjust, adapt, and remain flexible is nothing new to occupational therapists. Our profession calls us to be continually ready to adjust to circumstances and to forge a path ahead. We've done so in the program during your time here, and you will be asked to do so to help your future clients, colleagues, and perhaps even students. They'll depend on you to lead them through uncertain times in their lives and help them adjust to new circumstances. One of my favorite quotes by William Arthur Ward comes to mind here. The pessimist complains about the wind. The optimist expects it to change. The realist adjusts the sails. To date, you've been trainees in this Sail Adjuster Club, but now you are upgraded as of today to full membership. Welcome. The membership is free, but you're not allowed to resign. Guaranteed lifetime membership is required. Before we honor our students, I'd like to take a moment to recognize 3 faculty members who've been the pillars of the program for decades and are retiring this year. Dr. Christine Berg, Dr. Monica Perlmutter, and Dr. Carolyn Baum. Dr. Berg, who retired in January this year, joined the program in 1987 and served as a leader, educator, mentor, advisor, advocate, colleague, and friend to all. Christine developed relationships with more than 100 agencies in the St. Louis area, providing students the opportunity to take what they've learned in the classroom to the community. These collaborations led to enhanced programming for the people served, while agencies gained a perspective of the added value of OT to their interprofessional teams. She's left a lasting impact on the profession, the community, and everyone in the program for the last 36 years. Dr. Monica Perlmutter will retire in June after 45 years of service to the university. Monica has held many roles in our program, including educator, clinician, researcher, mentor, and advocate. She was instrumental in growing the program's community practice by building the low vision practice from the ground up. She developed 2 key components of the entry-level curriculum with the case-based learning CBL team to improve core clinical competencies: the CBL course series and the standardized patient experience course. Monica has shared her passion for working with adults of all ages with vision loss with the students she mentored in her low vision laboratory. Within the lab, she and her students developed an assessment tool for home evaluations and a self-management program for adults with vision loss to support participation. I was just giving you a little break. For everyone in the program, Monica will be remembered for the kindness, compassion, and empathy she showed to all throughout her many years with us. Finally, Dr. Carolyn Baum, our former director, who's transitioning to emeritus status. Her contributions to the profession of occupational therapy are significant and so numerous that I can only scratch the surface in the time I have here. Dr. Baum is the rare individual that has advanced practice, education, and research throughout her prolific career. She's authored a leading textbook on occupational therapy, developed our guiding professional model, developed assessment tools that are the backbone of practice and research, and continues to advance the field through her research on functional cognition. She's made an indelible mark on our program as a thought leader, advocate for occupational therapy, and philanthropist. Most importantly, Carolyn has been a mentor to legions of students and faculty internationally, propelling them to use their talents to lead the way in their professional endeavors. Her legacy is extraordinary and will transcend her 48 years at Washington University. We look forward to honoring Dr. Baum's contributions to the field at a symposium in her honor on June the 14th. We welcome you to attend the event or watch via live stream, so just let us know. Please join me in thanking Drs. Berg, Perlmutter, and Baum for their unparalleled service to the program. We'll miss you. Now I'd like to introduce my colleague, Dr. Lennon Graho, our Director of the Division of Professional Education, to announce the student awards and scholarships. There's nowhere to put these extra pages.
Good afternoon. Today we celebrate the graduation of students from 3 degree programs: the Doctor of Philosophy in Rehabilitation and Participation Science, and the clinical degrees Doctor of Occupational Therapy and the Master of Science in Occupational Therapy. Each of the clinical degree cohorts includes a class marshal chosen by their peers. Please wave or stand to be acknowledged as I call your name. The class marshal of the Doctor of Occupational Therapy degree is Yana Renee Lindenbaum. The class marshal of the Master of Science in Occupational Therapy degree is Kendall Johnson. Each year, the program awards the Excellence in Student Research Award to recognize a doctoral or master's student whose work will enhance practice. Faculty nominate the students and a panel of faculty rate their work. I'm happy to announce that this year, Sophia Claire Larson is recognized for her paper titled Constraint-Induced. Her paper is titled Constraint-Induced Movement Therapy for Pediatric Hemiplegia, Clinical Landscape and Barriers to Widespread Implementation. Again, Sophia, please wave or stand to be acknowledged. The program also awards scholarships that recognize students for outstanding performance and leadership. Many of the scholarships listed in your program were awarded to students upon admission into the program in occupational therapy. In addition to those, there are a few competitive awards to offset the cost of fieldwork or capstone projects. Students submit application packets for these awards, which are reviewed by our scholarship committee. I'm happy to announce this year's scholarship award recipients. The Agnes Fielding Proman Scholarship is awarded to students from the Occupational Therapy program who show exceptional promise as an OT educator or potential for leadership in the profession. The students must have also demonstrated a strong commitment to the values and knowledge of occupational therapy. Today, we have 4 outstanding students receiving this scholarship. Please wave or stand to be acknowledged as I call your name. Rachel Marie Paul. Hannah Catherine Tate. Kaylee Wonki Yip. And Carly Briggs Yannock. Congratulations. The Fran Cohen Memorial Scholarship was established by Fran's family to honor her. She was a 1951 graduate of the program in occupational therapy. The family awards this scholarship to a graduating student who shows promise in community health and community service in occupational therapy. The student must have demonstrated potential for leadership in the profession and creativity in applying OT knowledge to people with disabilities. Particularly important is that the student must have demonstrated a strong commitment to the values and knowledge of occupational therapy, just as Fran did. This year's recipient of the Fran Cohen Memorial Scholarship is Haley Danielle Kaplan. Next, the David B. Gray Scholarship was established in memory of former program faculty Dr. David Gray, who worked tirelessly to improve the lives of people with disabilities. This scholarship is awarded to students who wish to pursue and show promise in the area of assistive technology, addressing facilitators or barriers in the environment, and/or advocacy for people with disabilities. The recipient must further demonstrate creativity and commitment to working with people with disabilities through volunteer experiences, their OTD project, or other work opportunities. I am happy to announce this year's recipient of the David B. Gray Scholarship is Morgan Elise Wise. The Dr. Carolyn Baum Leadership Award is awarded to an OTD student who shows exceptional promise in engaging in leadership activities on behalf of the profession, especially in the areas of advocacy and policy in occupational therapy. The recipient demonstrates creativity in applying OT knowledge when delivering results from a position of leadership, whether by organizing, mobilizing, or inspiring others. Moreover, the recipient demonstrates a strong commitment to the values and knowledge of occupational therapy. This year's recipient of the Dr. Carolyn Baum Leadership Award is Sharia Nicole Hill. Finally, the Diana T. Derrigo Scholarship was established just a few years ago by Diana's family and friends to honor her memory. Diana was a member of the class of 2019 from our program, and she had a passion for improving the lives of individuals who had experienced trauma. Therefore, this scholarship is awarded to an individual or individuals who have interest in pursuing work or research in trauma-informed care, mental health, or community practice, or a demonstrated commitment to working with and advocating for underserved populations. This year's recipient is Paige Emily Francis. Congratulations to all of our scholarship and award recipients. Now I would like to ask Sharia Hill to come forward to introduce our commencement speaker.
Good afternoon. Dr. Ian M. Rice earned his master's in occupational therapy from Washington University in 2002 and PhD from the University of Pittsburgh in 2010 in rehabilitation science and technology. Dr. Rice's research interests include the investigation of strategies to maximize occupational performance and quality of life in mobility device users through prevention and mitigation of secondary health complications. Guided by principles in occupational therapy, ergonomics, motor control, and biomechanics, Dr. Rice has developed expertise in investigating upper limb preservation strategies during activities like wheelchair propulsion, transferring, and adapted sports, while accounting for the influence of personal factors and the ambient conditions in which these activities occur. Dr. Rice has instructed both graduate and undergraduate level courses in biomechanics, assistive technology, adaptive physical education, psychosocial aspects of disability, and perceptions of disability through popular culture. Dr. Rice currently serves as an associate teaching professor, the associate head for undergraduate studies in kinesiology, and director, wheelchair biomechanics and performance laboratory in the Department of Kinesiology and Community Health at the University of Illinois, Urbana-Champaign. Additionally, Dr. Rice is a Paralympian in the sport of wheelchair racing, participating in both Sydney, Australia, and Athens, Greece. Dr. Rice has been published in countless journals, written chapters in numerous books, and has inspired people through his public speaking and work throughout the nation. Please join me in welcoming Dr. Ian M. Rice.
Test. Oh, it works. Excellent. Hello. It's an honor to be with you here today. And of course, I want to first congratulate the OT class of 24 on this truly amazing accomplishment. It's a privileged position to be in, and you absolutely have superpowers. Right? You are armed with superpowers and nothing but potential. But now the real adventure begins. Right? I too have shared in the adventure of OT from many viewpoints. and thought I might offer a few words of encouragement infused with perspectives from someone who utilizes the principles of OT non-traditionally to study biomechanical, engineering, and exercise physiology aspects of wheelchair-using populations. Although some distance from a clinical setting, the research topics I pursue and my approach are rooted in occupational therapy, meaningful activity, and my own life experiences as someone living with a disability who received OT early on, right? How impactful was that OT that I received? Well, I'm talking about it right now, 30 years later, right? My first exposure to OT was as a patient in 1993 after a college gymnastics injury. Again, as a student here in the 2000s, right? This was Sammy Sosa versus Mark McGuire. This was the Pope strolling through downtown Central West End. I was visited by some Secret Service folks that didn't like my angle on the street. Right, these were good times, right? I later pursued a PhD specializing in biomechanics after an optional research-based fieldwork experience with my OT advisor, mentor, and friend, Dr. David Gray. So now I find myself in an associate professor position at the University of Illinois where I teach, I conduct research in health and kinesiology department. Right? In most, if not all of the settings that I've found myself in the past 10, 12 years, I'm the only OT in the room, right? Indeed, my path has not been traditional or linear, but like many of you, I've had strong opinions and beliefs about the ways that I wanted to make clinical and scientific contributions. And I think it's important to preserve those core beliefs right now, right, as you grow into your careers. Although the formal academic phase of OT has ended, the next you will experience, accelerated learning like never before, but with much higher stakes, right? So this is a scared straight speech, I think. Right? It's not classroom learning, but it's intense and challenging. What I'm trying to say is remember this passion right now, and specifically what attracted you to this point as you proceed, right? Let that guide you. As a 19-year-old OT patient, and I use the word patient intentionally, I was a mess, right? I was not a client, I was an inpatient. And I was immediately touched by occupational therapy. And I wasn't sure that, I'm entirely sure that I didn't recognize it at the time, but the power of therapy when delivered in a way that has salience and meaning to a person, well, it did in that exact moment for me. Right, I recognize and experience also the despair and stagnation that occurs when those things are absent, right? Especially after a new catastrophic injury. For example, within days after my injury, I was exposed to the fact by my OT, who was a WashU OT grad, that University of Illinois, the very same place that I acquired my spinal cord injury as a gymnast, had a world-class wheelchair athletics program. I had no idea. I had not a clue, right? That was nutrition for my soul, right? I was able to witness the beauty of wheelchair racing early on. And even though I was nowhere near ready to accept living with a disability or even considering the possibility that I could live happily with a disability, that moment planted a seed that was incredibly impactful. So you, as clinicians and future researchers, are armed with very powerful tools, in part because of this program, right? The science and efficacy of occupational therapy, and the amazing faculty who have guided you to this point, right? You're ready to do this, and never underestimate your ability to facilitate profound positive changes in the lives of the people that you touch, right? When I was an OT student, we were told that OTs can do anything, right? Sounds a little bumper stickerish, right? But it's true. I mean, I've come to realize it's true, right? The potential of OT can be unlocked and applied all over the place in many settings. For example, for many years now, I've been conducting research and teaching in academic environments far removed from the world of OT, but I think to great effect, right? At times, I feel like an undercover occupational therapy agent, right? Subtly, and not so subtly, advocating for research design choices and even curriculum that are better calibrated to reflect occupation, meaningful activity. Right? I've also had the opportunity and privilege to attract many undergraduates to the field of OT and to this school specifically, right? So I'm really here to collect on that, right? So OT sweatshirt, coffee mugs, I'll be waiting out back. So I've worked with engineers, right, at the tail end of their PhDs and exposed them to OT principles during that research and design process, which provoked them to pursue clinical degrees right after that PhD, right? It's evident in these discussions when the light bulb appears over a student's head and they realize, my gosh, I have no idea who I'm designing for, and I've failed to recognize the life factors which stand in between the technology or intervention and ultimately, that recipient. What's efficient and practical from an engineering perspective may not be compatible with a person's motivations, goals, or life experiences. Right? Similarly, I've had the privilege to work with brilliant colleagues who have unimaginable technical abilities, but need our help. They need the help of the science of occupational therapy to understand, right, how people with disabilities may move, how they may complete activities of daily living, or perhaps most importantly, recognize the environmental and psychological barriers which prevent use of well-designed assistive technologies. Right? There's so many factors to consider when optimizing for the match between person and technology. AT abandonment, right? It's a huge healthcare drain, it's a drain economically, but more importantly in terms of the devastation on quality of life. Right? Why would someone not use a technology they're prescribed when it has all the potential in the world to be of benefit? Right? The answer is nuanced and complicated, but a good place to start is thoroughly evaluating that match or fit between person and technology, right? Insert PEO model here, right? We use physics, we use evidence-based practice, we use clinical practice guidelines to inform treatment or research, but if we underestimate what's salient to the whole person, we can really miss the mark and lose the opportunity to make profound impact, right? Let the evidence guide you, but don't let your people skills or empathy atrophy, right? So stay connected with the people and clients you serve. How you remain empathetic, alert, and sensitive to the needs of your clients and to others, well, that's kind of the trick, right? For me, living with my own disability and vulnerabilities keeps me grounded and motivated, as does working with students and colleagues. For better or for worse, I can't help but stumble into my own awkward life predicaments. Like right now, I'm raising twins with a rotator cuff that looks like a war zone, right? And a busy schedule. I've got to pick them up for gymnastics practice 3 hours away in about 4 hours, right? Navigating life scenarios like this and seeing others wrestle with disability-specific health conditions complicates and reminds me of why I'm in the research game to begin with. As an academic in the business of keeping wheelchair users happy, healthy, participating, and pain-free, we often function based on the premise that it's not the disability that disrupts quality of life, it's the secondary health complications which emerge and then devastate, right? I can confirm and absolutely relate. However, navigating solutions without considering the person and occupation can be problematic, and at the very least lead us to oversimplify solutions. For example, right, unlike disability itself, secondary health conditions like cardiovascular disease, obesity, upper limb repetitive strain, they're all modifiable, they're preventable. We can do something about those things, right? We can't cure many disabilities, but we can cure, prevent, manage all of these secondary complications. But why aren't people modifying these things well, right? Another common phrase I use in grants and papers all the time, right? It makes me almost sick to read them because they're so overused, but there's truth to them, right? If physical activity and exercise were a medication, it would be the most potent tool known to humankind for ameliorating diseases due to sedentary lifestyle. Again, true. We know this is true. We know this intellectually to be true. but people with disabilities remain among the most sedentary in society. Right? While there's truth to these statements, many are quick to judge and perhaps oversimplify or ignore the factors which drive human behavior. Right? You can't ignore the facilitators and barriers that people must navigate to achieve some desirable outcome. However, we as OTs and undercover OTs are uniquely positioned to intervene and inform clinical practice with one hand on the evidence and another on the whole person. Right? My OT training has helped me to better advocate for solutions, and it'll serve you in whatever form of practice you seek. Never underestimate your ability to make great contributions to the field and to the lives of those you treat. Congratulations and good luck.
Thank you, Ian. Now I would like to call in Emily Reed Woods Anderson to come forward to introduce our faculty speaker.
Hello, everyone. Oh, hello. Here we go. So this is, I promised Dr. Tominski that I wouldn't make her cry, but maybe I'll cry. It is with the greatest honor that I present to you today Dr. Quinn Tominski, a distinguished faculty member and practitioner who has dedicated her career and likely almost every breathing moment to teaching and improving the lives of people struggling with mental health challenges, as well as improving occupational participation for underserved and marginalized populations. To say Dr. Tominski is an accomplished OT would be the understatement of the century. We would probably be here for the next hour if I were to list everything off, but she would not like that. She has pushed the boundaries of occupational therapy in the field of community mental health and has been instrumental in shaping the minds of future OTs and how we approach our roles in all areas of practice. Dr. Tominski, an alumni from our very own WashU Occupational Therapy program, teaches several outstanding classes in our program and leads an innovative lab and outpatient clinic known as the Community Independence Occupational Therapy Clinic, where students work with clients to provide meaningful and engaging OT services for people experiencing homelessness and transitioning to independent living. Whether you are a student, client, peer, or colleague, Dr. Tominski has a genuine way of making you feel seen and heard. What sets Dr. Tominski apart is her unwavering belief in the potential of every individual she encounters and goes beyond the labels and diagnoses when she talks with anyone. Her expertise and research in the field of community mental health and education has made significant strides in advancing the field while shedding light on the important role that mental well-being and occupational justice plays in every person's life. To have had the opportunity to learn from Dr. Tominski in both her classroom and lab has been the greatest honor, and I know I am speaking for all of us when I say, you are an inspiration and a beacon of light. Yep. Thank you for all that you have done for us as a teacher and mentor. We are better for it, our community is better for it, and our world is better for it, truly. And on that gushy note, I am thrilled to present to you our faculty speaker as chosen by the graduates here in front of you today, Dr. Quinn Tominski.
Hard to recover from. Okay, congratulations. We made it here, 2024 class. Whew. All right, so bear with me. I took some fun with this speech today. Okay, so in thinking about what great wisdom I wanted to impart upon you all today, I've sort of been reflecting on my career until this point. 12 years from, well, if we'd been in Cram Chapel, sitting exactly where you are, but almost sitting exactly where you are, right? Sweating under all the velvet, worrying about your hair, yeah. To standing here, still sweating under all the velvet, still worried about how's my hair, look okay, still worried about that. But when I think about the journey from that side of the podium to this one, I sort of am struck by this enormous pleasure that I am having to give this commencement speak to the 6th class that I've had the pleasure of teaching. And I think about the transformations that have occurred in me from that spot to this spot. And when I think about those, they sort of appear in front of me in these really distinct stages, right? Like, I think there were periods where I struggled, and whether that was to be connecting with my clients or to find a path forward as a therapist. There were also moments where I had to learn to honestly care for myself in the face of enormous workloads or secondary trauma from my clients. Numerous occasions of redefining myself and my career and recommitting to this field of occupational therapy that I love. I guess you could say I was on my own version of the OT Eras tour. So today, like one of my beloved non-OT idols, Taylor Swift, I am going to take you on your OT Eras tour. What will likely be the first decade of both your career and what was mine, this journey you are about to embark upon. So for my true Swifties out there, bear with me, I've taken some liberties here. And for those of you who are not Swifties, I will do my best to educate you about the wonder that is Taylor Swift, as well as make this as relatable as possible. So, your first era will undoubtedly be fearless. A romantic, sparkly teenage dream of your future career. In your fearless era, you will bring with you the wonder of being a new practitioner, the energy to go the extra mile, the deep and passionate love for this profession, and a million aspirations and possibilities for the future. Our profession needs dreamers from the fearless era. This is when we push boundaries. This is when we make lasting change and take leaps that scare the heck out of you. Taylor says, fearless is having fears and jumping anyway. So many of us have been there ourselves. If it were not for our new fearless practitioners, many of our emerging practice areas wouldn't exist. But this era will not last forever. Like Taylor, we will grow up, we will have our hearts broken by clients, by systems, by structures of healthcare, and maybe even a little bit by this own profession. And it's in these moments that we should look to our mentors and our friends and our colleagues for inspiration and support in ensuring that we find a path through our pain and emerge with renewed vigor for occupational therapy and those that we serve. Or at least we should take some advice from Taylor, who says, I got smarter, I got harder in the nick of time, and enter your reputation era. And it may seem strange for me to talk about a reputation era in a graduation speech when most of us think of Taylor's reputation era as being defined by anger and revenge. But instead, I challenge you to think of your reputation era as rebirth. Instead, it's marked by grit, determination, and strength. And I want to talk about this era because your entire career will not be shiny and wistful. But rather, there will be moments of darkness, though I'm hoping a lot less snakes. And it's how we choose to act in these moments that define us and dictate our future careers. When we are knocked down, we can take a page from Taylor's book and not act out of hurt or frustration, and certainly not quit something we love because of a setback. Instead, my hope for you is that you take a moment, you dig deep, and you find your voice. And you emerge, your armor may be tougher, you may have a few more thorns, you may be more cautious, but your dedication to this field, this profession you chose, your drive to make lasting change in your clients' lives, it remains undeterred. And as Taylor once said, If you're lucky enough to find something that you love and you have a shot at being good at it, don't stop, don't put it down. So let's talk about love. Whether it occurs simultaneously to your reputation era, immediately following it, or as a completely separate journey, there will come a moment where you have to prioritize yourself. You've heard all of your faculty talk about the importance of self-care, and whether you listened to us and started doing that while you were in OT school, or that was something you decided to kick down the road and do later, you will have to make that a priority, and you will enter your lover era. The lover era is not about your partner, your family, your friends, your community, your clients, or your colleagues, but it is about you. When you get sick of running as fast as you can, you must invest in yourself. And I hope that you take a chance to go on a journey of self-love, to determine your strengths, celebrate every single success, no matter how big or how small, and address your needs. If it doesn't bring you joy, say thanks and move on. Prioritizing your mental health over anyone else's is the definition of self-care. We get so busy caring for everyone else that we forget that we are our most precious resource in furthering this profession, and we must be preserved. Invest in you, because you can't spell awesome without me. Well, we are approaching the end of my guided tour through the eras of my first decade of my career, and likely yours. And as you travel through these different eras, defined by your various emotions, transformations, and growths, they're all part of your self-titled debut album. When you walk out of those doors today, you enter the world as an occupational therapist, and you begin defining yourself and your career. And just as Taylor did, she used her first album to show the world who she was as a singer and a songwriter. You are writing your story too. Think of each moment of your new career as a chance to define yourself. In every choice, in every client interaction, and in every failure. We all know, that you are exceptionally talented, compassionate, and innovative. But now you must prove that to everyone else. So crank up the Taylor and let the games begin, because I know you're up to the task. So to you all I say, welcome to your OT Eras tour. I can't wait to watch you put on a great show. Congratulations, class of 2024.
Thank you, Quinn. Indeed, let the games begin. In my role, I get the privilege of supporting all of our students throughout their educational journey. It is my honor today to introduce this year's student speakers who have been selected to speak by their classmates. First, I'd like to introduce Audrey Ann Kellerman. Audrey graduated from Youngstown State University in Youngstown, Ohio, with a Bachelor of Applied Science in Exercise Science in 2017, and she graduated from our program with a Master of Science in Occupational Therapy in 2019. Today, she is graduating with both a Master of Science in Clinical Investigation and a Doctor of Philosophy in Rehabilitation and Participation Science. During her time at WashU OT, Audrey was part of the Participation, Environment, and Performance Laboratory under the mentorship of Dr. Susie Stark. She has studied falls and complex daily tasks as markers of early Alzheimer's disease, culminating in her dissertation, Exploring Complex Daily Tasks in Preclinical Alzheimer's Disease. This year, she received the Poletsky Award from the Knight Alzheimer's Disease Research Center in recognition of her promising career and early contributions to the field of dementia and aging. Next, she's off to begin a postdoctoral fellowship at the University of Colorado Anschutz Medical Center, where she will study implementation of rehabilitation intervention for older adults. Please join me in welcoming our 2024 Doctor of Philosophy student speaker, Audrey Ann Kellerman.
Thank you for the kind introduction, Dr. Gaho. Good afternoon, and congratulations to all MSOT, OTD, and PhD graduates. As Dr. Gaho said, I am representing the Rehabilitation and Participation, or RAPS, PhD program. This program trains us to become researchers and develop evidence so we as OTs can provide the most effective care for our clients. I am technically the only RAPS graduate this year, so I'm speaker by default, but nonetheless, I'm incredibly honored to be here and speak with you all today. And I'm joined by a recent RAPS graduate, Dr. Eun-Young Kang, who's here celebrating officially her milestone with us. And I've been lucky to meet some of the rest of you through assisting in your courses, but as Dr. Gaho said, I received my MSOT here a few years ago. So I know well how much work you've all put in to be here today. You should be incredibly proud. When I thought about what I could say here, like many of us OTs, my mind naturally wandered to my most meaningful occupations. One of mine is being in nature. My feelings about nature are eloquently captured by a woman named Audrey Peterman. She said, "The level of comfort and peace that I experience in parks flows like a stream throughout my life, so that no matter where I am or what I am experiencing, there is a core of me that cannot be disturbed. It keeps in me balance all the time." I love this quote, not only because it resonates with me, or because the person who said it is also named Audrey, but because she recognized one of her most meaningful occupations and the great power and impact this has on all aspects of her life. Audrey realized this deep connection to nature on a trip to national parks. Also on this trip, she observed very few people of color like herself among park staff and visitors. She immediately began working to promote inclusion in national parks, starting with small actions. Now, after 3 decades, her passion, work, and activism have spearheaded many inclusion and accessibility efforts in national parks, making progress toward all people being able to participate and reap the rewards of nature occupations. To me, many parallels can be drawn from Audrey's story, so I'll highlight 2. First, your OT education. You may have chosen this profession because it's a holistic role in healthcare to promote function, health, and well-being to all people across the lifespan. What could be more meaningful than that? In your MSOT and OTD training, you have had many small steps of group work, assignments, role-playing, which have laid a very strong foundation. You are prepared to start fieldwork and serve others in your careers. In PhD training, there have been many small steps of statistics, manuscripts, and lots of revisions, all bringing us closer to a career, furthering the evidence of OT and supporting our profession. Small steps while keeping your meaningful career goal central to the process leads to incredible outcomes. And second, I urge you to apply Audrey's story to those that you serve. As OTs, we find the right occupations to focus on by listening to our clients, giving them space to tell or show us what's important to them, to find their equivalent of the peace and balance that Audrey finds in nature. Then we can creatively craft our OT practice to promote function and health, knowing that the process and outcome are far greater when meaningful occupations are central. But just as Audrey observed a problem, there are many barriers to facilitating meaningful participation. There are constraints in practice settings and reimbursement policies. Physical environments are not designed for all people. Systems don't work for all groups. Inequities in many areas of healthcare. I believe, as Audrey has done, taking small steps and keeping the importance of meaningful and accessible participation in focus not only allows us to best serve our clients and communities and make change, but also strengthens and furthers the profession. I am confident that you all have a solid foundation to do this and make meaningful impacts on your clients, communities, and OT as a whole. I wish you all success and fulfillment as OTs. Congratulations again, and thank you.
Thank you, Audrey. Next, it is my privilege to introduce Sharia Nicole Hill, who was chosen this year as the class speaker from the Doctor of Occupational Therapy class. Sharia earned a Bachelor of Science in Psychology from Howard University in 2015 and earned her Master's in Special Education with a concentration in autism from the University of North Texas in 2020. In the brief time she was enrolled in the OT program, she was selected for a leadership position within the School of Medicine's interprofessional student-run clinic, served as an OT ambassador, was on the Washington University Coalition of Occupational Therapy Advocates for Diversity Executive Board, was a summer student coordinator for the Harris Stowe State University OT Pathways program, served as a member of the Transition Management Team, served as the vice chairperson of the American Occupational Therapy Association's Assembly of Student Delegates, and is a member of the National Black OT Caucus, the Missouri OT Black Caucus, the American OT Association, and the Missouri OT Association. Recently, she was also selected as a 2024-2025 Neurologic OT Fellow at the Institute for Rehabilitation Research, Tier Memorial Hermann, back home in Houston, Texas. And she accomplished all of this in addition to working a paid job and maintaining a high level of academic performance. Truly a rising star in occupational therapy, please help me in welcoming our 2024 OTD class speaker, Sharia Hill.
Thank you, Dr. Graho. And good afternoon, everyone. Respected faculty, staff, distinguished guests, and esteemed colleagues, I am deeply honored to stand before you today. First, giving honor to God, for it is by His grace that I have made it thus far. I would also like to acknowledge my parents, my brother, family, and friends for traveling near and far to take part in this momentous occasion. I love y'all. To my classmates, we have arrived. After years of every answer to our burning questions being, it depends. After surviving anatomy, biomechanics, and fieldwork. After hearing our family attempt to explain what we do by saying, it's kind of like physical therapy, we are finally here. As I reflect on the mountains and valleys that we no doubt have navigated during our experience, I am reminded of a term I learned during my undergraduate studies at Howard University, Sankofa. It is a word from the Akan people of Ghana, symbolized by a bird flying forward with its head facing backwards. It is said to mean looking back to move forward or reflecting upon our past to build a better future. The literal translation is go back and get it. As far as we have come, it is important to go back to retrieve all that we have gained as we forge ahead. Over the last 3 years, we have passed all courses, drew the brachial plexus in our sleep, and can riddle off interventions at record speed. But the true testament of our growth is in how we have persevered. Studying in Becker Library at all hours and traveling all over the nation to complete our fieldwork experiences. However, curveballs still came our way. We have rallied together during times of grief, supported each other through assessments, and held each other's hands during times of difficulty. There were indeed times of doubt, discomfort, and feelings of defeat. And during these moments, we did the most powerful thing we could. We made a decision a decision not to quit. We decided to persevere through the difficulties. We decided to stand our ground and look our challenges in the eye. And it was then that we opened ourselves up to the endless possibilities of where our dreams will take us. I could not be more proud of our journey. Now that we have reflected over the years, just like the Sankofa bird, it is time to move towards the future. During my time in fieldwork, a therapist told me, make sure as you journey along, you collect important tools to add to your tool belt. She was referring to intangible tools, one that cannot be held but often leave a lasting impression on whomever we cross paths with. We have been given important tools over the course of our program, but there is one tool that cannot be taught. It can only be achieved through the reflection of self and implemented with intrinsic grit. It is key to success and vital to our growth. It is this: cling to your gifts. You see, there are things that only you bring to the world. You are born with them. They are God-given and yours to own and cultivate. These are called your gifts. I remember in the 4th grade when my English teacher, Miss Jefferson, wrote the following in my weekly folder. Sharia is very smart, friendly, kind, a natural leader, but she talks too much and is loud during class. And I know what y'all are thinking. That's so hard to believe. Upon arriving home, my mama, the greatest woman I know, sat me down and opened the folder and said, baby, school is for learning. You have got to stop talking during class. And I began to hang my head when she added, but don't ever stop being you. You are perfect. Don't lose that part of yourself. I decided for once to listen to my mama. I clinged to my gift. I did not allow myself to shrink. Instead, I sought out spaces and places where my gifts were useful and made me feel empowered. And now, 21 years and 3 degrees later, Miss Jefferson, all that talking really came in handy. Your gifts come with one responsibility: resist the urge to shrink. Be true to who you are, to who you were made to be, so that the people and the places and the opportunities that are made for you can find you. In this cohort are astute, prolific, inventive, avant-garde, enterprising, solicitous, pace-setting, self-starters, and I challenge you to cling to those gifts. And just in case you ever feel yourself shrinking, let's do a quick activity. Repeat after me. I am attracting greatness. All of my gifts are working in my favor. I will win in the end. A+. Just as the Sankofa bird continues to fly while remembering where it has been, I am confident that with intentional reflection, cultivation of our gifts, and the wealth of knowledge we have accumulated in this program, we will all go forth to change the world for the better. Congratulations, y'all, we did it.
Thank you, Sharia. Finally, I am happy to introduce Emily Anderson, who was chosen to speak for the Master of Science in OT class. Emily earned a Bachelor of Arts in Environmental Studies from the University of California, Santa Cruz in 2012. Prior to joining the program in OT, she worked with young adults with autism, building independent living skills and mental health support. In 2019, Emily started a women in business group, as well as young entrepreneurs group, while working for the Chamber of Commerce in Mammoth Lakes, California, to provide mentorship, community building, and networking opportunities for women and young adults looking to expand their professional skill sets. During her time in the program, Emily participated in the Community Independence Occupational Therapy Clinic under the mentorship of Dr. Quinn Tyminski, where she learned to provide mental health clinical services for minoritized populations experiencing homelessness in the St. Louis area. Emily is also a proud mama of a 2-year-old, which has led her to explore maternal mental health and how parents can be better supported through life transitions and occupational balance. We are proud to count Emily as one of our own and can't wait to see what she does next in her career. I am very proud as a faculty advisor. Please join me in welcoming Emily Anderson as your MSOT class speaker.
I almost dropped my speech after listening to you, Shrey. Goodness. Okay. Well, first of all, good afternoon again, everyone. I want to first acknowledge and thank all of our very proud family and friends that are here today who have supported us on our journey to becoming occupational therapists. Also, special shout out to all the babies in the room who are missing their nap time. We hear you, you let it go. My 2-year-old's back there, hey babe. Feel free to walk out if you have to. But let it flow, we're here, we understand. Also, to our faculty and staff, who you all have cringed through every OT elevator speech that we found a way to babble through. So thank you for not laughing, or at least not in front of us. We know it was embarrassing, and we genuinely do appreciate all of your guidance, support, unwavering love for students. Truly, thank you all. You have made this experience so wonderful. And my faculty advisor. Thank you. So, okay. Today, we are not just celebrating the completion of a rigorous program at WashU. We are celebrating the beginning of a lifelong commitment to service, empathy, and healing. In the field of occupational therapy, we are entrusted with a profound responsibility to empower individuals to live life to its fullest, despite the challenges that they may face. Whether it's helping a young kiddo with developmental disabilities learn essential life skills, assisting a person in reclaiming their independence after a stroke or a traumatic accident, or supporting a veteran in reintegrating into civilian life, our role is pivotal. As we sit here, slightly sweaty but looking amazing, decked out in our regalia, I can't help but think back on the countless hours that we've spent together in class, attempting to master the art of palpation, or trying not to trip over one another while practicing transfers. But beyond these clinical skills and academic knowledge, we have acquired what truly sets us apart is our ability to see beyond the diagnosis and challenges, to recognize the person behind the condition. In our hands and our hearts lies the power to restore hope, dignity, and purpose to those who might have lost sight of it. As we step into the world as occupational therapists, let us never forget the privilege it is to be invited into someone's life during their most vulnerable moments. Let us approach each interaction with humility, compassion, and a genuine desire to make a difference. The road ahead will look different for all of us, but no doubt we will all be faced with challenges and uncertainties, as well as countless opportunities to touch lives, to inspire change, and to leave a lasting impact on our communities. As Desmond Tutu once said, "My humanity is bound up in yours, for we can only be human together." As we go forth into the world, especially now, let us always, always remember to see the humanity in one another and show empathy, not fear. Show humility, not judgment. Show love, not hate. Let us embrace these challenges with courage and resilience, knowing that every obstacle that we overcome brings us one step closer to becoming the therapists and people that we aspire to be. Let us never lose sight of the passion and dedication that brought us to this moment, and let us always strive to be the best advocates for our clients, colleagues, and profession. Congratulations, my fellow graduates. May your future be filled with laughter, learning, and plenty of opportunities to use the obscure piece of equipment that you never thought you'd actually need. And never, ever forget to lead with your heart. I love you all. Thank you.
Thank you, Emily. And now it is time for the hooding ceremony for the class of 2024. We will now recognize those who have completed the academic requirements for the degree Doctor of Philosophy in Rehabilitation and Participation Science. I will read the students' names, and their PhD advisor will hood them. To be hooded by Dr. Susie Stark, Audrey Ann Kellerman. To be hooded by Dr. Erin Foster, Eun-Young Kang. Congratulations to the PhD in Rehabilitation and Participation Science class of 2024. We will now recognize those who have completed the academic requirements for the degree Doctor of Occupational Therapy. I will again read the students' names, and their doctoral advisor will hood them. To be hooded by Dr. Peggy Barco, Nicole Lee Christensen. Vanessa Ann Petronik. Riley Elizabeth Ann Sheffield. Megan Lee Wallace. To be hooded by Dr. Carolyn Baum, Laura Catherine Budka. Xin Yi Wang. To be hooded by Dr. Katie Bogan, Ailey Armstrong. Bailey K. Blykamp. Madison Nicole Dewey. Rachel N. Normand. McKinney Hudson Wagner. To be hooded by Dr. Lisa Connor, Lauren Chauma Nabo Owowo. To be hooded by Dr. Sarah Cheatham Oberly, Erin Elizabeth Fernie. Catherine Nicole Keenholz. Allison Lee Martin. To be hooded by Dr. Lisa Connor, Grace Mary Hurley. Haley Danielle Kaplan. Camilla May Kish. To be hooded by Dr. Jess Dashner, Alexis Taylor DeBose. Sharia Nicole Hill. Jessica Lynn Nauman. Sophia Elise Ricciardi. To be hooded by Dr. Erin Foster, Jessica Willard Daniel. Emily Ann Kubica. To be hooded by Dr. Kelly Harris, Avery Elizabeth Collier. To be hooded by Dr. Kathy Kniepman, Madison Page Guerra. Kara Lynn Chen Rickenberg. To be hooded by Dr. Wanda Mahoney, Paige Emily Francis. Andrea Jenga. Rachel Marie Paul. To be hooded by Dr. Carrie Morgan, Claire Marie Mizrahi. Caitlin Christine Thornton. Morgan Elise Wise. To be hooded by Dr. Ben Phillip, Elizabeth Danielle Woolen. Carly Briggs Yannock. To be hooded by Dr. Susie Stark, Noah James Martin. To be hooded by Dr. Sue Tucker, Erin Christina Bissett. To be hooded by Dr. Quinn Tominski, Julia Ashley Guild. Hannah Leanne Eisenman. Maya Grace Purdy. To be hooded by Dr. Carla Walker Elizabeth McGee Clark. Renata Maria Franzoni. Yana Renee Lindenbaum. Hannah Catherine Tate. Daria Jacqueline Zahalski. To be hooded by Dr. Marit Watson, Erin Nicole Chubb. Tara Lindsay Hahn. Emily Lynn Moran. To be hooded by Dr. Stacy West Bruce, Samantha Nicole Coates. Maren Lise Jorgensen. Congratulations to the Doctor of Occupational Therapy class of 2024. We will now recognize those who have completed the academic requirements for the degree Master of Science in Occupational Therapy. Once again, I will read the students' names, and this year, Dr. Marit Watson was chosen by the students to hood them. Anaí Alcocer Bravo. Emily Reed Woods Anderson. Aaron Keenan Baker. Emily Rose Barrett. Ashley Nicole Brandt. Madison Elizabeth Calder. Peregrine Darby Charest. Olivia Mae Dixon. Maria Lee Dohak. Courtney Brooke Esker. Molly Elizabeth Eubank. Holly Marie Ford. Rebecca Faith Frankel. Sydney Maxine Gatewood. Tiana Danae German. Jessie Marguerite Griffith. Cameron Michelle Gunderson. Kendall Johnson. Jenna Noel Johnston. Anna K. Carner. Sophia Claire Larson. Rebecca Page Linneman. Nina Marie Montello. Karina Nelson. Ali Christina Olila. Amy Jewel Osterbon. Tony Nicole Palermo. Mira Maria Pereira. Kayla Lynn Rees. Janet Reesert. Charity Shanta Ridgel. Kennedy Ann Ruiz. Danielle Page Schultz. Erica Maria Schultz. Claire Ann Schwartz. Kevin O'Brien Sidney. Annika Julia Strack. Laurel Catherine Stugart. Amy Laura Woods. Kanyarak Yanawuth. Alexis Shinhue Yang. Kaylee Wonki Yip. Congratulations to the Master of Science in Occupational Therapy class of 2024. And congratulations to all our graduates. I would now like to invite Dr. Connor back to the podium to make her closing remarks.
Graduates, you're being called to a profession that needs you now more than ever. People of occupational performance challenges due to chronic disease, disability, poverty, climate chaos, violence, and aging. Your service is vital to humanity's success and well-being. You'll serve individuals and their families by working with and enabling people to do what they need and want to do. You will help communities be more inclusive and accessible to people with a wide variety of abilities by identifying obstacles and working to create environments that support occupation. You'll advocate for new social policies that give voice to the voiceless and create innovations enabling barrier-free living. Your training here at the Washington University Program in Occupational Therapy has prepared you to make the difference that the world needs right now. I'm so excited to leave the future of the profession in your hands. As you leave us for the last bit of your educational journey and get out into practice, I want you to remember two things. First, you prepared yourself for today by becoming scholars of the profession. You've mastered literature to guide and bolster your critical reasoning skills. Every new idea, every new initiative, every new intervention approach, every new research investigation must begin with learning everything you can about what came before that moment. Lifelong learning is essential to your continued professional development throughout your career. Being a practitioner with fresh ideas and perspectives will require you to search for and engage with the literature, and likely an AI assistant, and with other colleagues outside of your organizations. Value and enjoy this part of your professional identity and responsibility. Share the results of your knowledge quest freely with others. Second, and most importantly, do not forget that your clients are people with individual occupational performance goals and needs. Take the time to get to know them as whole people, understand their occupational histories and profiles. Understand what they value to generate outcomes that are meaningful to them. I'd like to leave you with a poem that has special meaning to me. Apologies to the faculty who've heard this many times now. As an occupational therapist, this poem reinforces that everyone seeks to be of use to others. It's a central feature of being human. The poem is called To Be of Use by Marge Piercy. The people I love the best jump into the work head first without dallying in the shallows and swim off with sure strokes almost out of sight. They seem to become natives of that element, the black, sleek heads of seals bouncing like half-submerged balls. I love people who harness themselves, an ox to a heavy cart, who pull like water buffalo with massive patience, who strain in the mud and the muck to move things forward, who do what has to be done again and again. I want to be with people who submerge in the task, who go into the fields of harvest and work in a row and pass the bags along, who are not parlor generals and field deserters, but move in a common rhythm when the food must come in or the fire be put out. The work of the world is common as mud. Botched, it smears the hands, crumbles to dust. But the thing worth doing well done has a shape that satisfies, clean and evident. Greek amphoras for wine or oil, Hopi vases that held corn are put in museums, but you know they're made to be used. The pitcher cries for water to carry and a person for work that is real. This poem reminds me that not only do we want to be of use to others, but that our clients too want to be of use. I hope that you keep this at the top of your minds as you help your clients engage in their most cherished occupations. You are the future leaders of the profession. I look forward to hearing about your successes, how you're leading the way forward in practice, research, policy, and advocacy. I particularly look forward to continuing to engage with you through our alumni activities and seeing you at the alumni reception at the AOTA conference. I wish you joy in the experiences you will have as you help people live their lives. The faculty and staff are proud to have been part of your growth, and we're proud to call you our colleagues. Congratulations and warmest wishes. We are going to adjourn to a reception. It's on the third floor? on the third floor. So please, you and your guests are welcome to join us for a champagne toast and some yummy food. Congratulations.